Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Today, we're diving into a collection of really useful natural English expressions, all pulled from a SpeakDuo lesson.
And if you do want to put these into practice, you can always go to SpeakDuo.com. It's a great way to meet people from all over the world, practicing on video calls and just getting more confident.
So let's get into the material. The foundation is solid. Clear definitions, practical comparisons. It's good stuff.
It is, but for a resource that's aimed at advanced learners, the whole application context feels a bit soft.
I agree. It needs elevation.
The first big opportunity we saw is that the core application scenarios for these phrases, they really need to pivot toward high-stakes contexts, professional, academic, that kind of thing.
Right. The weakness is that the examples sometimes default to the simplest uses. Think physical health or, casual hobbies.
Exactly, and that just doesn't test the vocabulary's range for someone who's already at a high level. They need to be using these phrases to talk about abstract ideas or critical business situations.
So the suggestion is to systematically replace those simpler examples, or at least supplement them. We need to show how these phrases work in a professional or abstract context.
That's the first thing. And the second opportunity, especially when we get to the slang, is huge.
Why, yes, the cultural shelf life.
Exactly. The material has a massive chance to teach learners about how slang ages, how it decays over time.
Because the risk is you teach them a phrase that makes them sound dated instead of fluent.
Right. So, for example, with a phrase like the bomb, we should use it as a teaching moment. You pair it with what people are actually saying now.
It teaches fluency and cultural awareness at the same time. You're showing them how the language evolves.
Perfect. So with those two lenses, high-stakes application and cultural shelf life, let's go through the material.
Let's start with the first one, to come together.
Okay, so the definition is about joining or combining to form a unified group, and it's rightly compared against to meet up.
Yeah. One's about shared purpose, the other's just logistics. The example given is, the community really started to come together to help rebuild the park.
And that example it's accurate, but again, it's a bit low stakes, isn't it?
It is. An advanced speaker needs this for discussing policy or corporate strategy, something with a bit more weight.
So the suggestion is to apply it to a higher level of, say, conflict resolution or collaboration.
Right, so instead of just a community park, maybe show some institutional cohesion.
What would be a good example of that?
Something like, the fractured regulatory bodies must come together quickly to develop a unified global standard for cryptocurrency oversight.
Oh, that's good. That shows unity around a really complex policy goal.
Exactly. Or in a teamwork context, maybe an IELTS-style question like, how do you ensure diverse teams truly come together in a remote environment?
And a strong answer would show that unified objective under pressure.
Okay, next up, the bomb.
Yes. This one. So it means something is excellent, the very best, and the material correctly notes its 90s context.
Which is absolutely critical. The example is, that new burger place downtown is absolutely the bomb.
The problem here isn't the definition itself. It's that if you use this phrase today, it instantly timestamps you.
It really does. Advanced communication is about knowing when a phrase has passed its expiry date.
So the suggestion is to use this phrase to teach that very concept, cultural obsolescence.
We need to give concrete examples of what replaced it. You have to contrast it directly.
Right, so you could say something like, while the original algorithm was the bomb in 2010.
The new AI is truly fire or slaps.
Yes, that comparison gives the definition and the cultural calibration at the same time. It's not just vocabulary, it's fluency.
It's a key marker of an advanced speaker.
Okay, so moving on. To get in shape.
This one means to become physically fit. The contrast with to look good is good. It emphasizes the internal state of fitness, not just aesthetics.
Physical fitness. I mean, it's so flexible.
Oh, definitely. Advanced English uses get in shape metaphorically all the time for systems, documents, processes.
That's the suggestion right there. Immediately pivot to that abstract metaphorical usage. That's how you show mastery.
So apply it to professional, complex systems.
Like what?
For example, after the security breach, the CTO mandated an immediate overhaul to get the network in shape for the annual audit.
That's a strong pivot. You're applying health and robustness to a non-physical asset.
Yeah, and if a learner is asked, what part of your workflow are you trying to get in shape?
They should be able to respond with something complex, like, I'm trying to get my financial projections in shape before the board review.
Perfect. Okay, what's next? Guilty pleasure.
Right. Something you enjoy even though you feel it's maybe not held in high regard.
The shortest example is, watching reality TV shows all weekend is my biggest guilty pleasure.
And the comparison with favorite hobby is correct because it identifies that element of internal conflict.
But the weakness is using simple entertainment or food examples. For an advanced learner, the guilt often relates to the intellectual or productive cost of that activity.
That's a great point. The suggestion is to frame this conflict as a deliberate choice. High-value work versus low-value indulgence.
The guilt needs to be higher stakes than just eating ice cream late at night.
It should be about resource allocation, time, intellectual energy.
So a better example would be something like, reviewing viral marketing campaigns that have no relevance to our sector is my professional guilty pleasure.
Right. When I should be finalizing the quarterly white paper, that connects the pleasure to a professional distraction, much more relevant.
Okay, next up is to get over.
Defined as recovering from a difficult experience. The example given is getting over the flu.
Which is where the high-stakes critique is most critical. I mean, everyone gets over the flu.
Exactly. An advanced speaker needs to use this phrase to talk about emotional or organizational resilience after a major failure.
The weakness is just relying on physical recovery. The suggestion has to be showing the phrase applied to major setbacks, institutional, psychological.
So we need examples that show moving past a huge disappointment.
Like, the executive team needed 6 months to get over the rejection of their major takeover bid and refocus on organic growth.
Perfect. That signifies high-stakes recovery. So then a question like, is it easy for you to get over a disappointment, can get a really sophisticated answer.
An answer that reflects that complexity.
Okay, what about homage?
Homage means special honor or respect shown publicly. The material contrasts sit well with imitation. Homage is respectful, imitation is derivative.
And the example is about cinema, which works. The movie was a beautiful homage to the classic films of the 1950s.
But the weakness is that this concept, homage versus imitation, is crucial in high-level fields like intellectual property.
Yes. The suggestion is to illustrate this distinction in a commercial or academic context where that line can have serious consequences.
That's a great angle. We need to show where originality is paramount.
What's a good example for that?
Maybe something like, the patent application was rejected because the design was considered an unoriginal imitation, not a respectful homage to existing technology.
That's excellent. It puts real stakes on the definition.
So let's move on to get straight to the point.
This means discussing the most important thing immediately. Compared against be blunt, the material notes that getting straight to the point is about professional efficiency.
The weakness here, though, is that it kind of neglects the cultural dimension of direct communication.
Which is vital for global business. An advanced speaker knows that efficiency is culturally relative.
Right. So the suggestion is to frame this phrase not just as being about speed, but as a strategic communication choice that depends on your audience.
Because teaching this purely as a preference for speed might overlook those global dynamics.
Exactly. You need an example showing that choice is strategic. For instance, the investor prefers we get straight to the point and lead with the valuation.
Rather than spending time on introductory pleasantries. That's the perfect professional application.
Okay, number 8, to get it down.
This means to master a skill perfectly after practicing. It's contrasted with to memorize it.
Right. Get it down implies practical execution, deep mastery, not just rote recall. But the example is learning a dance.
Again, the weakness is the low-stakes example. Dance, cooking. For an advanced user, mastery applies to complex intellectual or professional processes.
So we need to elevate the skill being mastered.
The suggestion is to use this phrase to describe mastering an essential, high-level technical or cognitive skill.
Instead of making the perfect omelet, let's talk about mastering a new software or a complex reporting requirement.
A good example would be the team finally got down the new regulatory compliance procedure, which significantly reduced our risk.
That focuses on mastering a critical system. That's a much better use case.
And then our bonus phrase, vibes.
Vibes. It describes the emotional atmosphere of something.
The example is about a coffee shop with relaxing vibes.
This term is very current, very flexible. But the weakness is avoiding the professional application entirely.
You're right. It's informal, but it is frequently used in high-level discussions about company culture or the psychological environment of a workspace.
That's the advanced usage, knowing where you can strategically use informal language in a formal context.
So instead of a coffee shop, we could discuss team dynamics. For instance, the new CEO's announcement immediately shifted the vibes in the office from anxious to cautiously optimistic.
That's perfect. It shows vibes being used to describe a complex emotional climate in a professional setting.
Okay, so we've run all 9 expressions through this advanced critique.
We covered a lot of ground there. Now, let's test how well those key distinctions stuck with a quick quiz based on what we just analyzed.
Sounds good. Remember, these questions are about the specific nuances we just discussed.
Question 1. The community started to come together to rebuild the park. What does this phrase imply? Is it option A, they physically arrived at the same location at the exact same time? Option B, they united to form a group and work towards a common goal? Or option C, they agreed to disagree on the methods used for the construction? And feel free to pause here if you need a moment to think about the answer.
The answer is option B. They united to form a group and work towards a common goal. To come together is all about that unity and collaborative effort we talked about.
Question 2. That new burger place is absolutely the bomb. How is the speaker describing the restaurant? Option A. It is extremely successful, excellent, or the very best. Option B. It is a complete failure and likely to close down soon. Option C. It is incredibly expensive and vastly overrated by critics. You can pause here again if you need to.
The correct choice is option A. It is extremely successful or excellent. But as we discussed, an advanced speaker knows that saying something is the bomb today really shows the importance of the cultural shelf life of slang.
Question 3. I joined the gym to get in shape. What is the speaker's goal? Option A. To organize their daily schedule more efficiently. Option B. To learn the theoretical mechanics of weightlifting. Or option C. To become physically fit, strong, and healthy. Take a moment to pause if you'd like.
The goal is option C, to become physically fit, strong, and healthy. And while that physical definition for get in shape is correct, remember our main point about using it metaphorically for systems.
Exactly. Question 4. Watching reality TV is my guilty pleasure. This means the activity is option A, something enjoyed despite being considered lowbrow or unhealthy. Option B, something done purely out of obligation to friends or family. Or option C, something that causes genuine legal or moral guilt when performed. Feel free to pause and think.
The correct answer is option A. A guilty pleasure has that element of internal conflict, especially when it takes time away from those high-value pursuits.
Question 5. It took him a long time to get over the flu. This indicates he needed time to what? Option A, find a way to bypass the symptoms without medication. Option B, recover fully from the difficult experience or illness. Or option C, understand the complex medical reasons behind the virus. Go ahead and pause if you need to.
The implied meaning is option B, recover fully. And remember, we emphasize that advanced usage of get over involves recovering from strategic setbacks, not just physical illness.
Number 6. The movie was a beautiful homage to 1950 cinema. So, the movie was option A, a satirical parody that mocked the style of the era. Option B, a direct and unoriginal copy of a specific old film. Or option C, a public show of special honor and respect to the era. Take a moment to think on that one.
The correct definition for an homage is option C, a public show of special honor and respect. That intention is what distinguishes it from a simple imitation.
Okay, 2 more. Question 7. We don't have much time, so let's get straight to the point. The speaker wants to, option A, discuss the most important topic immediately without small talk. Option B, draw a direct line between 2 opposing arguments on the board. Or option C, avoid the main issue to prevent any potential conflict. Feel free to pause.
The speaker wants option A,
to discuss the most important topic immediately. And to get straight to the point is all about that efficiency. But an advanced user will always weigh that against cultural expectations.
Last one, question 8. It took months, but I finally got it down. What has the speaker achieved? Option A, they have managed to write the information on paper. Option B, they have mastered the skill perfectly after practicing. Or option C, they have reduced the size of the project significantly. Final chance to pause and think.
The speaker has achieved option B. They have mastered the skill perfectly. To have got it down signifies that true mastery of a complex skill we were talking about.
So we've analyzed 8 powerful expressions today, and the core approach of contrasting them is excellent, but that depth of application just needed a significant boost for an advanced audience.
Right. To summarize the actionable steps, the examples need to be elevated. They need to deal with high-stakes, abstract concepts.
So move from recovering from the flu to recovering from a financial crisis?
Exactly. And also use time-sensitive slang, like the bomb, as a specific cultural lesson. It's an opportunity to teach cultural fluency by providing modern equivalents.
Keep practicing these phrases in complex scenarios, and check out SpeakDuo.com to put all this advanced vocabulary into practice.
We look forward to receiving your next set of materials for our next critique.
Goodbye for now.